Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts this afternoon, and I'm joined with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. Nick, you know, it's really cold today.
It is. I got here early to work, and I found out that a lot of times that main door getting in here likes to get frozen shut in days like this.
No.
So, yeah, hey, at least I know. Yeah. Hopefully by the time some people are listening to this, it's a little bit warmer out, because it's not ideal right now.
I'm going to have to bring a little pot of steaming water or something like that, pour it on the doors?
Maybe, but no, it's going to be better, and it's going to get better because we got a fun guest in here today with some fun stuff to talk about, Dean.
Yes, it's cold outside, but it's warm in here with our guest. With us today, we have Irene Boutzarelos, who is currently the Vice President of the Foundation for Excellence Committee here at Addison School District 4. Irene, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How you doing today?
I'm doing real good.
Awesome.
I didn't have any problem getting in the door.
It was pretty early in the morning for me.
Okay.
I'm talking still dark, so I think it's okay for visitors during the day.
Okay.
That's good. So let's hop right in then.
Okay.
So we know who you are, but just in case anybody is unfamiliar. So who are you, and how long have you been with the foundation here at ASD4?
I've been with the foundation, I'm going to say, it has to be about 10 years, maybe.
Okay.
10 years? Yeah, close to that. District 4, a little longer. I'm retired now, but I taught art in District 4, elementary, and then I went to the junior high and taught art, and then I went on to the high school. So I've been moseying around Addison for quite a while, and I live in Addison, too.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
Addison native who is kind of going across all of levels of education and providing your expertise to all different grade levels. I love that.
And I'm still there. I'm still in Addison. Yes.
Awesome.
So that's cool. So when you were still a teacher in the district, like what kind of things were you involved with? And then as you kind of started to kind of figure out, what I want to do, post my teaching career, how did you get involved with the foundation?
That's easy to say. The reason I joined up with the foundation is because the foundation has always been there. Mm-hmm. When I was when I was a teacher, they were offering mini grants. Yeah. And I applied for those mini grants every year. Mm-hmm. And happy to say I got them all the time.
Very nice.
It was the same mini grants, and the mini grants that were so great was that it supplemented programs that we were doing in our class. So I was the art teacher, and I would always select a subject that would not only be for art, but would be beneficial to the whole school.
Yeah.
And so I would get it, because of the geography, not geography, social studies, math, those are the biggies.
Right.
So art, I'd sneak it in. One project that I loved was a skeleton. I needed to get a skeleton for my class when we were drawing. This is at the junior high, when we were drawing the human figure, and no way did my budget afford a skeleton.
Understandable.
Gotcha.
So I had this skeleton for drawing, but most of the time it would just sit there and it decorated my room.
Gotcha.
But the science department took it, And they used it. And in fact, I had a hard time finding it. I think they stole it and they were hiding it.
Missing skeletons somewhere in someone's closet.
Right.
Talking about skeletons in someone's closet.
In the closet, the science. And
I knew that was coming.
And I think the skeleton is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a medical skeleton. And I would never have been able to do that. I would never have been able to teach the human figure. And the science department had a human skeleton in plastic. It wasn't a real skeleton.
Gotcha.
So these are programs that the mini grants afford, not just for the art department, but for all the classes. Where we can't go, the budgets don't allow it, but it enhances whatever we're teaching.
Gotcha.
All around.
So then really a lot of your introduction into what the foundation was from seeing these mini grants first.
Oh, yeah.
And then that kind of got you interested in what the foundation did.
For sure. When I retired, I realized that the foundation was still doing the mini grants.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I have to be a part of this. I have to give it back and be a part of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I love that. So we're talking about the foundation doing mini grants and things like that. So we know that that's a big portion of what the foundation does, but
Right.
What else does the foundation do? So what are some of the events or programs, fundraisers, that sort of thing that the foundation gets involved in?
The foundation supports the school, District 4, the classes and the teachers, and supports the teachers. And we do some fundraising. There are donations involved. We have we give a scholarship. Mm-hmm. We give a scholarship every year.
Yeah.
I forget how much that was, the scholarship. Doesn't matter. It was
I
nice.
think was around $1,000 for the one that we provide.
Right.
Yeah.
And we work with, you got to help my memory here. We work with the
Brooke Marshall Foundation.
Yes, the Brooke Marshall Foundation.
Yeah.
And we're part of them, and they give a scholarship. Mm-hmm. And then we have a fun fair.
Yes.
The fun fair.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
It is.
And that's not necessarily to give. It's not necessarily to make money or fundraise. It's to get together with the whole district, all the kids, the family, the community. Like the police are there. They're not there policing. They're there working with the kids, and it's a great opportunity for the community to see the school in a different light, and also with all the different other community people that are there too. It's really fun. I do face painting.
Yes.
I do face painting.
I was hoping you were going to bring that
Makes
up.
sense. Makes sense. Okay. What's your go-to animal if you got a 6-year-old in front of you and they say you can do whatever you want?
The most unusual one was the young lady wanted a lobster.
Okay, that's a different podcast episode because I don't get how you do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, she wanted a lobster, and she wasn't feeling very well. And it was like, you got to paint the lobster now. And she was going to throw up.
Okay, there's lots of angles to this one, Dean.
Seriously.
And the other ones are usually like sports figures, and rainbows, and fun stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So actually, it's a good thing that we bring this up, because one of the only stipulations that Nick and I had about you coming in was that we were hoping to get some sort of face painting or something at the end of this. So we'll talk about it when we're done.
I was going to go lobster, but I'm going to rethink it.
Yeah, I
lobster's
feel weird
been
asking
done.
for lobster now. So
Lobster's been done. What do you think about it?
We'll get to it.
Oh, I love it.
You'll have to stand in line, though.
Oh, okay.
There is line.
So,
But pizza, and there's also pizza. I can't just take the they have pizza. They have some games that they do. I mean, it's a fun event and well attended.
It sounds like a great time. So it's like the foundation, grants for teachers, which impacts kids.
Right.
The foundation, this fun fair, it's good for the community. It's a great time. So as the foundation continues to grow and raise money for the district, what do you see happening to the role of the foundation changing at all? Is there, and if there's any parents out there that are interested in being a part of this, how can they learn more?
That's a good point, because right now we need people to join us.
Mm-hmm.
We need people. I mean, I'm old, and I'm still there kicking.
I don't know about that,
but we need more people to be involved, and it's like the best kept secret. And to have a parent come in, I know we have a board member that joins us, and teachers that join us, but I think that component of a community member or a parent to come in and be a part of this would be great. And it's not real time consuming. It's actually fun.
Yeah.
How could they do it? I think maybe just coming to the district and asking about it, I think that would be good. I think you can go online.
Mm-hmm.
How about this podcast?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a great way to reach out as well. I mean, I know that we have lots of things on our district website that talks about the foundation. And if you have any questions, they can always reach out to us here at the office, and we'll get them in contact with somebody that can point them in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think there are now adults, parents out there who are bringing their kids back here, living in Addison and going there, and they probably were recipients of this. They've experienced the mini grants. I think that would be great for them to come in and join us. Yeah.
Perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Great things for great people, and it's an opportunity to get involved. So, Dean, if somebody out there is like, man, okay, I'm in, how do they reach out to you? What's the easiest way to reach out to you if they go, point me in the right direction?
It's a great question. Best way for them to reach out to me personally is going to be through Twitter. Our handle is @AddisonSD4. Reach out to me, send me a message, and I will get back to you very shortly. Nick, same question to you. If somebody wants to talk about the foundation, mini grant ideas, that sort of thing, how can they best reach out to you?
I'd like them to do so. nsutton@asd4.org is my email, but I'm always lurking around Twitter. Dr. Nick Sutton is a good place to find me.
Perfect. And Irene, so if somebody wanted to speak directly to the vice president of the foundation, how could they ask you some questions?
They could just ring my doorbell. I live in Addison.
We haven't gotten that answer before. I like that.
Exactly.
But that's happened. The family that lives behind me came up and asked me what I was doing. I mentioned the foundation.
Really?
And they donated last year. Huh. I asked them to join us.
That's
and he's
cool.
like, oh, well, maybe. So, I'm in the neighborhood. They know where I am. So I'll talk it up as much as possible.
I like it. You heard it here, folks. So, Irene, thank you so much for coming and joining us. It's
you're
been
welcome.
an absolute pleasure.
It's fun.
And for everybody listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.